It looks like today I actually got lucky. We're going to have a beautiful day. It's sunny, and it said it's supposed to be mostly sunny throughout the day, and I think tomorrow it's supposed to be, well, at least cloudy. It's not supposed to rain, but we'll see how that works out. So I can finally mess with some of this stuff, and for anybody that's interested, I'll show you this as well. But I have several different things I need to get done, a few different products and stuff for some companies. Today's also my daughter's big 13th birthday, so I'm going to keep some stuff pretty short. I'm not going to be doing stuff all day long. She's in school, so I can get away with doing some things for a few hours. But we have this Anvil 21 volt cordless pole saw, or 2-in-1 pole saw. The last pole saw that I got was kind of crap. I ended up not doing anything for the company. I told them their pole saw was garbage. Every time I would touch a limb, it would just stop. And yeah, it just didn't really work that well. And if a product is garbage, I won't do a video on it. I tell them that. Now this one I haven't tested though, so if it's garbage, we'll find out together. But this is a 6-inch saw from Anvil. It comes with two 21 volt batteries. I did charge those up like 4 days ago, but because of all the constant rain. It also does come with an extra bar. These bars are so tiny. And you get an extra chain. They do give you some gloves, which they're not that great. I recommend your own gloves. That was to the water transfer pump. That was even more pathetic. You do get a little user manual or user guide, and you do get some safety glasses. I'm going to get my own safety glasses because I prefer mine. Now this one does have an oiler system. It's a pump primer one that you're going to have to press. So you don't need any tools to loosen this up, but you will need the screwdriver, and the little screw is over here next to the bar, and you're going to turn that to tighten up the chain. You could use any kind of bar and chain oil. This, I think what I have in here is from Steel. I don't have much of that left. I actually have a lot of cheaper oil from Walmart. The oil from that one is definitely a lot darker. This oil is kind of chilly and cold too. It's super thick today. I think right now it's about 43 degrees. I'm not sure how cold it got overnight. That primer bulb is stiff and cold too. But you're just going to primer, get some oil pumping through it. Let's see how fast this ramps up. Actually, that's not bad. That ramps up pretty quickly. I keep hearing a frog croaking. I think I just scared it now. But let's go ahead and try it on some of these limbs. I know I'm going to cut these trees down. I just need to be a little careful because this is a drop off for a few feet right here. All right, not bad. Oh, can't see. I could probably use some of these limbs to try out in that mulcher thing I need to do too. Alright, so at least for limbs, this works pretty well. That was a little bit bigger one. That worked. I know some people would use these to cut up like firewood and everything. But let's see how much I could actually cut before this battery goes dead. I'm going to just cut little pieces off. The battery might be weakening now. Yep, there it is. Alright, so let's see what we got. I didn't count how many limbs we cut. We got several limbs. And then we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 cuts of these limbs. Plus half of that one. I'm not going to count that. But 16 of those plus all the limbs that were cut. Alright, so you're not going to cut up large trees or cut trees all up with this. But if you're looking for something to do like some firewood or just to cut down a few limbs, It's not that bad. It actually works pretty well. Ramps up pretty quickly. And overall, the battery life wasn't too bad on it. Anyway, this is the York Shipper Shredder. I've never tried an electric one. I have that big gas one. All right, so on the back side here, there is an unlock knob. You're going to unscrew this, and then you can open this whole thing up. And then from there, you can access, if you need to change the blades or need to sharpen them and everything, you'll be able to access the disc pretty easily, just like that. And when you're all said and done, you just put this back on and then tighten up that knob. All right, so this uses a standard 110 outlet, and it's rated for 15 amps. So I'm gonna go ahead and get it plugged into the truck here. I also just brought over some of those limbs that I cut a minute ago. Trying something a little thicker. Let's try it. I'm actually pretty impressed for it. I didn't think it was going to be able to work as well for being such a small little machine. But it actually worked better than I thought for some of these larger ones. And let's go ahead and take a look at what the mulch looks like, because I'm really curious about that. But if we pour out what we just mulched up, that actually did a pretty decent job. The greener stuff, it cut it up into smaller pieces. The branches definitely chipped it away, and that looks pretty damn good. This would be really good for a compost pile. I'm trying to remember what else I needed to get done. I have, my brain is scattered today. There's just so much I'm trying to catch up with and get done. I still got to do a lot on the property. I've been wanting to cut down a lot more trees too, but I haven't had time to really get around and do that either. All right. One more thing that I want to work on today is getting the mailbox up down at the road. I got this one a while back. I had to leave it up here when they were going to bring the home and all that stuff in, when I'm glad I did, because they tore up my signs and stuff doing that. But I got this large plastic mailbox that I want to put in, and you weigh it down with a bunch of sand. You could put like 100 pounds of sand in this thing. I live in an area where people do have fancy mailboxes and people seem to leave them alone, so I'm hoping nobody's going to come along and try to take my mailbox that weighs 100 pounds. So it's got this big, large area inside. It does come with some numbers that you can put on. They're not very large, so I'll probably get some other numbers to put on as well. But I need to get this down there, and then I need to make a flat area with the tractor or a shovel, something. All right, let's head down the hill. Let's see if we can get this mailbox in today. First, I want to work on cleaning up some of this mess. Those guys that tore up the driveway yesterday, they scattered debris and mud and everything all over the road too. Alright, took a quick break. The guy from Public Works was in the area asking me if I knew where my meter was, because nobody ever showed that to me yet for the water. And he was talking and stuff. Really nice guy. But let's get back to this and see if we can get... This is not going to be perfect. I didn't even bring a level or anything. I don't care if it's completely leveled. I just want it in here for now. Eventually, I'll probably pour a concrete pad right here and do it that way. I feel like I could have buried it a little bit. Maybe I should. Maybe I should bury it somewhat into the gravel. That might be a better idea. All right, now I just got to fill it up. This sand's all wet, so it doesn't help. The bright side, it makes it heavier. All right, it took a little bit to put the sand in here, but I got the mailbox in. I also got it buried a little bit, so I'm going to put the stickers on here in a minute. I'm going to get some larger stickers for the sides here. I got to order them, but we got a mailbox in finally, so I can finally start getting mail. All right, and the last thing that I have today is I got to swap out a thermostat in my mother's RV because and I'm going to need a different tool because it's a square thing. Dang it. But her thermostat has been broken for a couple of weeks, and it's been pretty hard to have heat in here. Black, orange, red. All right, that was pretty easy. You got 3 wires, and that's it. Gotta go hook up the battery back up, and then we'll try this out. Cool furnace. Now we can see temperature and everything. The other one wasn't working whatever at all. She didn't even have the faceplate on here. It was everything was broken. And we are good. That was actually a heck of a lot easier than I thought. If you need to change a thermostat in your RV, it's pretty darn easy. I've never done one before. And it was just 3 different wires. I didn't even need a user manual. I just copied how the wires were on the other one. But awesome. Now she's not going to have to worry about freezing in the middle of the night, since she'll be able to have her heater on. Alright, I think that's about it for today. I need to go get cleaned up. I did get a little bit dirty. I guess the name kind of fits today. But we're going to get all this cleaned up. I didn't really do a whole lot today, filming-wise or property-wise. We got the mailbox done. That was something I needed to get done for quite a while. We could finally start getting some mail, so I'm happy with that. And I showed you a couple products. The chainsaw or the pull saw, yeah, it was okay. But if anybody's interested, I'll put a link down below. And then we did that wood chipper shredder, which actually worked pretty well. It surprised me. It was pretty decent for an electric chipper. It won't handle your really large branches, but it will handle up to like 1.5 inches. And it was eating those limbs up pretty easily. And it was sucking them in too, which I really like. So overall, I was actually pretty impressed with the chipper. I'll actually use it some, just not for the really big stuff. And I think it would be good for like the normal homeowner on that one. If you got a large property, you're probably going to want one of the bigger chipper shredders, like my big green one, or even bigger. I would love to have one of those really big ones that lead up to like 6 inches or something like that. I got interrupted a couple different times, 3 times actually. Different people showed up and talked to me and stuff. They also came and put a lockbox on and locked up the house, which is good because I don't want anybody venturing up on the property and messing around and getting inside and everything. But that means I can't get in until they're done with stuff. Hopefully, we're going to have some updates when it comes to the utilities and trenching and stuff here in the next couple of days, or I hope anyway. Today would have been a great day to get a lot of that stuff done. And then, but I mean, at least it'll dry out just a little bit to do some of it tomorrow, maybe a little bit less mud. But this was just another random day on the homestead and random things to get done. Anyway, hopefully we'll have some more updates here in the next couple of days. But until then, see you later.